In April 2023, we bought this place in northern Sweden. It's in a small village called Åkerjön in Jämtland, just near the border with Norway. And we bought this site here. It has 107 acres of land. It has a farmhouse, a guest cabin, a big barn and garage workshop. Where the inspiration for this project was born with me and Justine, we would go travelling in remote and wild and beautiful places, and we'd always dream of moving to live there one day, partly because we just love being in remote and wild and beautiful places, but also it's also born out of our shared response to the crazy, unstable, unpredictable things that are happening in the world right now, and just really feeling a sense that there's a gradual and sometimes sudden decline of the systems on which business as usual is depending, and really that we want to unplug from that as much as possible and create an alternative that is both the way that we both want to live anyway and is a kind of sane and intelligent response to the predicament that we find ourselves in. So we have a vision and intention for what we want to be creating here, and we're aware that we're coming here from outside, so we're bringing our intentions with a kind of humility and awareness that it's a foreign land to us. We're from the UK, and it's going to be like a dance, going to be like a reciprocal dance of what we're bringing and what's here and what fits and what's needed. And so we can't define it precisely, but we have some kind of overarching headlines or some key features of the vision that we're looking to create here.
So there are three key principles underpinning what we're doing here. So one is about regeneration, and it's about regeneration of the land, but also a kind of inner regeneration, so a reclaiming, refinding, rediscovering some of the lost skills that we have, some of what's in some ways talked about as a kind of inner rewilding, finding our true connection with the land again and being part of the land, not seeing ourselves as so separate from the land.
Yeah, as I sit in this forest here, in the stillness of it, yesterday we went up the mountain and it's about the silence. I think in the background I can just barely hear the stream flowing down, and this to me is the vibrancy of what this forest is. The being here is also about sharing some of this, or bringing people to look down and to really see what's down beneath our feet. It's so great. One of the guys here, I said, like, take your shoes and socks off and just feel it. And he's now walking around barefoot, and that's how we connect. We connect with this earth that way. For myself, I'm feeling it. I am truly feeling it to come just on the edge here behind the buildings and just to sit and be, and that's so it's the wellness of my inner self.
So one of the motivations for us coming here and about the whole regeneration piece is that we're trying to create the conditions for the regeneration of the land to happen naturally, rather than us coming and doing the regeneration. It's more like we're going to do some kind of protection of the land so that it doesn't keep getting clear cut, because that's what would happen if we hadn't come and be stewarding this piece of land. And for me personally, one of the things that I felt when I first came was something about really wanting to do my part in kind of repairing a lot of the damage and a lot of the violence that has been done by humans, mainly men, to nature, to our natural world. And I came here and I was on the land in the snow in April when we bought the place, and I was just in tears in the forest with the trees of just like, you know, just feeling that sense of what's been done, the kind of the violence and the wounding that's been done, and really wanting to say, well, you know, obviously I can't do all of it, but there's a little piece where I can have a role in doing some of that reparation.
So that's the first piece, regeneration. And then the second of our kind of principles, if you like, is about kinship. And kinship is about us coming back into connection and finding our right relationship within a whole web of relationships. So our relationship to the land, to all the other than human creatures that live in the land. So we have reindeer here, we have probably lynx, bear, elk, frogs, squirrels, many other kinds of other than human. And the trees, the rocks, the water, all the flowers, and all the spirits of this land. And kinship is about us remembering our place in that web of relations. And again, you know, this sense of that we're not separate from, as humans, you know, we can easily forget that we're part of that web, and there's a kind of web of reciprocity between all of us. And so we wanted this place to be somewhere where people could come and have time out in the quiet of nature, spend time in solitude and together as a group, but really take time to listen and be with the land and all that the land and the other beings of this land can offer us in terms of remembering our place and this sense of kinship, and kinship together as other humans as well. So work and practices that help us to come back into right relationship with one another.
So this is a place where magical things happen and where you can really connect to magical, but from a very concrete perspective. I have had this experience with the insects and animals here. And somehow they feel like very meaningful experiences. The dragonflies, the reindeer, the frogs. Very unusual animals for me to see or to be in contact with in the cities. And of course, these animals are also parts of ourselves, so we can see the dragonfly part of me. I mean, it makes me wonder, why do I get so impressed? Why do I get so impressed when I see a reindeer? It's an animal, of course. But it's an animal that I have never been in contact with. And there's a part of me that gets delighted by that animal. So I think that there's like some part of my spirit of my mind, my soul, that gets uncovered, and that here that's available to happen.
The third principle is community, and all of these principles, as you might sort of start to get a sense of, they're very interconnected. So regeneration, kinship, community, they're not separate from one another, they work together. And community is again, it's about this focus of human relationships and working together, eating together, playing together, sharing together, having experiences, healing, growthful experiences together that help us build community, trust, safety, growth, challenge, and support us being able to maybe live a little bit differently. So this week we're in our first experiment, if you like, of these principles and community. So for the last 2 weeks we've had 18 people come here to live temporarily and work together. We've called it a kind of pop-up community volunteer camp, and we have a structure to the day, a rhythm to the day, and starts breakfast, then a work period for the morning. People are cooking, taking turns cooking in the kitchen every day, and there's lots of work going on around the buildings. We've been doing repairs and putting in some of the basic infrastructure we need. The place has been a little bit neglected, so there's been quite a hive of activity, and people have come with lots of different skill sets. People who are expert at working with wood, carpenters, filmmakers, biologists, herbalists, yoga teachers, breath workers. So we've got quite a kind of cauldron collection of different skills and experience here, and the age ranges from 5 to 74. And it's been a 2-week camp, so we've shared food together, worked together, and then also had time to explore other kinds of practices, like I said, yoga and breath work and meditation. I work as a family systemic constellator as well, so we've done some of that. Nick's brought in some group work, skills and practices. So it's a kind of living experiment in living and working together. And ultimately, this is we'd like to be having more of these pop-up community camps, but also having slowly over time a more permanent, semi-permanent population living in this way together.
So what have you enjoyed here, Amelia?
I've really enjoyed all the foraging in all the camps, but I haven't enjoyed being bitten by a wasp.
But what have you enjoyed, Amelia?
I love the building and the work party that's been going on.
And what about I was thinking of the plants and the herbs, what in particular have you enjoyed?
I've really enjoyed going out foraging with Lorraine and also Justine for cloudberries. There's like loads of them here. We got like a huge bag full.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the right place for cloudberries.
Okay, brilliant. They were delicious.
So we're looking to run a number of these events through the year, partly because the place needs a lot of work and there's lots of things to do to support the regeneration and all the things towards the vision, but also partly just to see who gets attracted to coming to visit here. And I've been involved and researched over 30 different eco-village and intentional community projects in Europe and North America, and talked to many more people who've been trying to set them up. and found that one of the worst ways to try and set up an intentional community is to say to people, hey, we're going to set up a community, who wants to join us? There's all kinds of pitfalls and problems with that way of doing it. So our hope here with doing it this way is that through running these camps, having people who are interested come to visit, forming relationships with those people seeing what we're doing, learning about our vision here, and then seeing if there's something that resonates with them and that they may want to come back and visit again and may want to come and stay for longer periods. And that if a more stable community does end up settling here, that it happens naturally in an organic way, just through a kind of natural attraction from what we're doing, who we are, and how people relate to that.